Well, a warm welcome to you all. It's 2025.
Holy cow.
It's 2025. And I am JJ. I am a life coach and I eat mostly meat.
I'm Eric. I'm a novelist and I eat mostly meat too.
Yeah, since 2020, mostly meat too, since 2022.
That's correct.
Yes.
With some excursions into total carb frenzies occasionally throughout. But not too bad of recent. Like 2023, really pretty good.
Yeah, it was in 2024.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Really, the holidays of 2022, 2023 was the carb fest.
Yeah.
That
was
that first holiday season.
Yeah, that wasn't the best. But this past holiday season, yes, we did have some carbs. We did eat off plan, but we're right back on it.
Oh, yes, we are.
And it feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime that I have an excursion, it takes a few days for I think just the inflammation in the water to just kind of shed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like I'm back to normal.
Yeah. Well, I confess that I had a salad on Tuesday. Well, it was New Year's Eve.
Oh,
yes.
New Year's Eve salad. You're so wild.
I had a New Year's Eve salad. And, but I still feel like I'm a little bit retaining from that. I'm not as svelte as I normally are.
Alan's not here yet, but he would tell you why that's happening.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
So the clickbait title is not very clickbaity of our video, Carnivore It Up in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we're going to do.
Yes, we are.
We will not be able to do it all in one video because 2025 will last more days than this video will be long. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine trying to do a live that lasted a whole year?
No, I cannot imagine that.
I don't think even Mr. Beast would do that stunt.
But yeah, so last night I failed to plan. And so I ended up going up to the butcher shop up the road.
Yeah.
Very convenient, but very high priced, and grabbed a couple of steaks last minute. And so we had some very large ribeyes. As a matter of fact, they thought it was 3 of them when I was checking out. And I'm like, no, it's just 2. We're really hungry. But we each had, well, you didn't quite finish, but I had over a pound last night too. So that's.
Yeah. It wasn't the best ribeye.
No.
So that was part of the problem.
Well, that's why we don't shop at that butcher shop. It's very high prices for fine.
What do they do to their cuts that you don't like?
What do they? Oh my gosh. We've had a lot of rib roast lately. So I was going to get the strip steak for a little variety. The texture is different. So a little variety. And they had cut all the fat. Like, how a strip steak has the one side there was nothing there. So even the ribeyes were very, very highly trimmed of the fat, except the ribeyes did have that center eye of fat. So that's why I went with the ribeyes. But I'm like, please it was merciless cutting of the fat to an extreme. And I'm like, I understand not everyone wants that and wants to pay for that, but for God's sake, leave a little bit on.
Yeah, they're the leanest cuts I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But they're beautifully done.
They
beautifully
are
displayed.
And they sell I can get the fat from them, and I have.
You get
the fat trimmings.
The fat trimmings.
Yeah, I can get the fat trimmings.
So it probably is cheaper than to buy their lean cuts and then buy the bag of fat trimmings separately.
You're right.
So you're not paying, $13.99 or $14.99 a pound.
Oh, higher than that at this point.
16. Well, that's
We had
based on where it's located.
We had $32 steaks last night. Each one was.
It did not taste $32.
Right.
It tasted somewhere around $9. Like that was a $9 flavor.
Well, I thought it was good, but it's not great. Yep. So yeah.
So today, I went and donated blood.
You do that regularly.
I do that every 2 months. Although over the holidays, I missed, and so I decided to go in and few days ago, I went in to donate, and at Red Cross now, they don't do the finger prick to test your hemoglobin, because if your iron's too high, they don't want your blood.
Mhm.
The threshold's pretty high. I run a little high in iron, and so that's one of the reasons why I donate every other month.
And this was pre-carnivore. You've been
Oh yeah, I've always had this.
Yeah.
But I do not have hemochromatosis, so you don't have to even ask. But they've changed. Instead of doing the finger prick, they now have this little cuff that goes over your thumb, and it inflates like a little blood pressure cuff, and it does it over and over again, and it uses some sort of light, and they somehow, with light and pressure, can tell what your hemoglobin level is. And when I did it a few days ago, I failed the test.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't give you a number. It just says too high. So they tested on a different thumb, and it still failed. So I'm like, well, I've had this happen even with the finger stick in the past. So what I do is I reschedule, and then I drink a ton of water the day before and the day of, and then usually it's fine. It's always been fine. So I did that today. And I even, because I had to drive so far, I even planned to be able to make a pit stop on the way, which I did.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
And I got there and they tested it and it came out high. But I was really concerned because I was like, well, maybe my iron is just like ridiculously high these days. But the manager came over and she's found this sheet, and it says that if it's out of range high, that equates to a hemoglobin between 17 and like 19.9. So it's still acceptable to donate, but it's just high. And I was like, well, why doesn't the machine give you a number? But the person doing it said, I don't know. I just barely learned how to use this machine. So anyway, I was able to do it. And then I found out that because my veins on my arms are so visible, that's actually a problem.
Really?
Yeah, this is a problem of being a lean carnivore.
Oh, geez.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there it goes.
And anyway, she was relatively new, it seemed like, at doing this. And she said that because what they do is they make you squeeze the thing and then they feel the vein, because they're going by feel, not by visualization. I'm like, well, can't you just look at it and jab it? She's like, actually, you have to go shallower, and that's more challenging.
Oh my gosh.
And so I said, really? Because that seems counterintuitive to me.
Huh.
So she went and got the manager who studied all of my veins. And I was like, look at them. There's one right here. I could probably do it. And she's like, didn't want that one. And so I had to hyperextend my arm, and then I had to hold it in a certain way, but got my blood.
We lost anyone who's squeamish.
That was me a long time ago. But as you get older, you get stabbed so many times, you kind of get over that. I don't like that initial jab, but I do like donating blood, not only because, it's good to get the iron levels down if you're like me and you have high iron levels. But I also just like the fact that it's doing good for somebody. And Red Cross is always really nice that once your blood is in the system and used, it tells you. And then that's nice. So that's something I did. And tomorrow I will be tired because of it.
See, I missed the last donation. So it's been a while for me, but I don't have any effects from it that I notice.
I'm just really susceptible to that.
Yep. Yes, you are.
All right. Angela says, new to carnivore.
Hey.
How do you cook your ribeyes?
Welcome to the family. Normally what I do for a ribeye is that we did a video with this. I don't remember what it's called, but I like to do it on a cast iron pan if possible. We've done it without, but that just gets the best sear. So I warm up the cast iron pan to just being able to see where it's just barely starting to smoke. I add my fat in.
And did the pan itself is smoking?
The pan itself.
Okay.
Then I add the fat in, and it's going to be ready like that. And then the steak goes on, and I will usually leave it for about 2 minutes on there. I'll turn down the heat a little bit because I don't want to char the outside too much. And the heat's about a medium high. So I'll turn it down just a tad and I'll leave it on 2 minutes. Check it. Sometimes I need to reposition it because just the variation, the middle might get more done than the outside. So I'll turn the steak and put it on for a minute or two more and then flip it to the other side. Keep it on there for about 2 hours, 2 minutes on the other side. And then I check the temperature and it usually goes in the air fryer after that to finish. And the air fryer is at 400 degrees.
And that's being preheated during this whole time.
Yes.
And then you periodically open the drawer and check the temperature.
It usually just needs 2 or 3 minutes in the air fryer. Yeah.
Do you season it before you put it in the pan?
Oh, good question. Yes, I do season it. I started with when I started Carnivore, I would season with like a steak seasoning. And like a Montreal or a Canadian steak seasoning. And then I moved to just salt and pepper. Now I just do salt. But do what's right for you. You've had periods where you have done flavored seasoning.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. But I started to get some gut issues from the flavored seasoning I was using. So I stopped using it. It is probably better to prepare the steak in advance to get some salt on it, to dry brine it a little bit, if you like a salty steak. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
But you don't have to salt it absolutely to death like you might see other carnivores doing. I've done that, and it is way too salty for me.
You like a little bit of a lighter salt. Yeah.
I like the salt to pervade the whole cut.
Oh, yeah.
And if you salt it right when you're getting ready to cook it, it has no chance to penetrate and make the full depth of the cut have all the salt flavor.
So how long would you dry brine?
Well, ideally you'd dry the steak off, put it on a wire rack, salt it, and put it in the fridge for a day.
A day, yeah.
But I never do that because that requires advanced planning. So if I advance plan well enough, I could get it out to room temperature, get some salt on it for an hour or two.
Okay. And you can notice a difference with just an hour or two.
I think so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So that's the ribeye.
So yeah, we sear a couple minutes aside and then I throw it in an air fryer to finish.
But using a meat thermometer is essential, especially early on when you don't know what it looks like correctly cooked.
Yeah.
Carnivore Chan says, new here. Thanks for helping me on my journey. I think we saw you last time.
Yes, he is. I believe it's a he, if the picture is correct. Carnivore Chance is helping people with stroke.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. I remember that.
Who've had stroke find the proper human diet.
He says, started my channel because of you guys.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. We'll have to check it out.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Oh,
I can't do it while we're streaming, unfortunately.
he was seeing.
I was trying to figure out if I could do it, but I couldn't.
No.
All right. So you have something else?
Well, I was just going to say, I continue to eat the salad minus lettuce for breakfast.
So explain
I
that.
am loving it. It's in Courtney Luna's cookbook. And basically, it's a base of bacon instead of a base of salad. So I will fry up about 5 thin sliced bacon. I'll fry that up and then add some hard-boiled egg, some chicken, hard-boiled egg, chicken, and some blue cheese, because I do like the blue cheese. And then a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of vinaigrette, and then eat it for breakfast. That's been my breakfast for about a week now. I've just been loving it.
I'm going to have to try that minus the blue cheese.
I can let you have a bite minus the blue cheese.
I want to see if it comes together and works.
Yeah. I think the thing that really makes it come together, the blue cheese helps, but the egg, the hard-boiled egg sort of brings it all together. I don't know how to describe it, but delicious. So I just wanted to bring that up again. It's, if you're doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, obviously that is not for you. And it does have the vinegar element. So it might not be for some of you either, but for me, it's been a really nice little change up.
And it doesn't have actual lettuce in it.
It has no veggies.
So you're not getting that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been holding me pretty well too. And yesterday I was out of the chicken breast because that's just kind of what you put on a salad. So I did more of a lunch meat. We had some deli
It
meat.
doesn't sound like there'd be enough fat in it.
There probably isn't, but I do follow it up with some butter and fat. Yeah, I follow it up with some. Yeah.
I've been adding MCT oil to
Yes.
my coffee, and very low doses of it, as I want to get a little more ketones into my brain, and been trying to ride that threshold of benefit versus gut trauma.
Yeah.
Because if you overdo it and you're not used to it, it can be pretty unpleasant. So
Now, MCT oil does come from plants.
yeah. Does
Yeah.
it? Coconut.
Coconut.
Yeah, that's right.
And it is processed. They do
Mhm.
process it. But my goal right now has been really around mental health. And so that keto number is important to me as well.
So I haven't done it long enough to bother checking my ketones, but I should start doing that pretty soon. Yeah. So we have a kind of discursion from Carnivore to do.
Yes, we do.
But it involves the box that's behind us. I have been looking at that box in our garage in our previous house every time I came home from anywhere, because then I would drive into the garage and there it is on the shelf.
Yep, right in front.
It is a time capsule
It is.
that we put together when?
2000. Like I think it was at the 2000 mark, like from 99 to 2000.
Yeah.
We taped it up,
Yeah,
put things in it
right before New Year's.
right before New Year's.
And we have not opened it since.
No.
So 25 years.
That is crazy. And our daughter is about to turn 21.
Right. Yeah. She didn't exist when we put this box together.
No.
So we will go through it with her at some point, but she doesn't want to be in our video.
She'll probably be, well, who knows? It could be really boring stuff. So you're here for it.
I don't think there's going to be anything in there except for, I think we put some newspapers in.
Yeah.
It's a little heavy, so we'll see. But I have an extraordinarily sharp.
Oh, yeah.
Benchmade bug out knife, because I just sharpened it today.
You were a sharpening fiend.
I got a new sharpening. I got a work sharp sharpener because my old one died. So this will cut through this tape. No problem. I guarantee it.
I saw you working on my chef's knife too.
So. Both chef's knives. Chef's.
Oh, wow. That's, yeah.
Yeah.
Chef's
whatever they're
knives.
called, they're extremely dangerous right now, which means they're safe, right? Because a dull knife is a dangerous
Oh,
knife.
yeah. There's a big difference. I can tell.
All right. So I'm going to cut this.
Okay.
Right. It's a bunch of newspapers.
A bunch of newspapers.
So let's bring this over here.
All right.
You can pull things out and then take a look at them.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
It is an unimpressive
it is a
array.
It is a
garbage.
lot of magazines too.
It's the type of stuff that you would find in the basement after a flood and wonder why you kept it in the first place.
All right. So apparently we kept a little before the year. So this is from November 8th, 2000.
Bush Gore in cliffhanger as Florida holds the key.
Look at that. Look at that.
Wow. Pets.com puppet. And let's see.
Oh, a fast, friendly AOL upgrade.
Mm-hmm. The US Today. How do you? It was 50 cents.
Ah, USA Today.
Yeah.
50 cents. Yeah.
And what is this with Chelsea and Hillary down here? Clinton wins historic Senate bid. Let's see. The Dow Jones average was 10,952.
Interesting.
wow.
All right. Are we ready for the next
I'll
USA
have to
tape?
peruse that.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it more closely.
All right.
Yeah,
Next.
this is the whole, I mean, this is a big Sunday version. This is, oh no, it's not Sunday version. It's just very thick. Thursday, December 14th. So about a month later.
We can unite. Gore concedes.
Look at that. Okay.
Hanging Chad.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember Hanging Chad?
Oh, yes. I might have a family member named Chad. So, yeah. Okay. Here is Sunday, December 31st. This is the Metro and State News for Milwaukee. Snowberry City again and again, 49.5 inches.
Holy cow.
Well, I've got to tell you, we have barely seen any snow. I'm looking at the wrong camera. We have barely seen any snow the last 3 years. Interesting. Not to you. You're probably bored.
No, we need to
Oh,
pick up. What is this?
I need to pick up the pace.
A letter from your uncle.
Oh, for the New Year's. We'll have to read that.
We won't bore you,
Yeah.
but her uncle used to had a typewriter and used to send us typewritten letters all the time.
Yeah, he passed in 2007 in a motorcycle accident. All right. This is the TV guide in January 6th. So it's a sort of a year in review type of thing. Talking about the election, of course.
All right. I think our standard for sharing needs to improve.
This is Entertainment Weekly 10th anniversary. So that's going to have a lot of pop culture-y stuff.
Why is it so wadded up? There's so much garbage in there.
Look at this.
No dead mice, though. Gala dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We apparently went to one.
Yeah. Oh, finally something not made of paper.
Ready?
Yep. It's the Y2K bug. He made a sound.
Did he?
His battery is probably dead a long time ago. But anyway, if you remember, yeah, it says drop me. I'm Crash, the Y2K bug. Look at that. I wonder if he's worth something on Amazon.
He's got the tags. The December 31st, 25 most intriguing people of 99, Julia Roberts made the cut. Tiger Woods, JFK Jr.,
Ricky
Jennifer
Martin.
Lopez. Oh, yeah, Ricky.
Nice.
Excellent. If you're just joining us, we have cracked open our time capsule from 1999, 2000. Let's see. Oh, boy, we got a bunch of voting pamphlets.
I wouldn't have thrown those
I don't
in.
know what the deal is.
I think maybe we confuse this with a garbage can.
I feel like we might have.
Yeah, more
Russell Crowe is the entertainer of the year.
This is very disappointing.
Yeah. It is really just a lot
We did not curate a very good time capsule.
Hey! Eric and I were both big Snoopy fans growing up independently of each other and would read all the old books, little comic books and things. And Charles Schultz passed away in 2000. A Cosmo with a very young Cameron Diaz.
This is just random garbage.
It really is a lot. It's a lot of random garbage. Oh, here's a little mouse damage. But I'm not seeing mouse droppings, so I don't know. Maybe
they were probably so bored with the content of the box. They were like, "Oh my god, there's nothing in here
There's nothing in here to chew." Look at I put in. This is interesting to this channel. I apparently put in some Nesquik, a Nesquik label, because this is what I had for breakfast every day at this time was whole wheat toast with some butter and a glass of chocolate milk. Wait, let me see. Let me see for a second. 2 tablespoons was the serving size, 19 carbs. And I was just trying to see the ingredients label. I'm just curious what sugar.
Imagine.
Cocoa processed with alkali, soy lecithin, salt, artificial and natural flavors. Check it out. I owned a dance studio back then. So I put some of my dance studio stuff in there. And that was apparently the 1 year we did a Christmas show. Look at that. And our tribute to 20th century stars. I'll be interested to see some of the names in that and remember some of the kids and adults.
There's no steaks in there.
No steaks.
No bacon, no eggs.
Here is the Billboard Top 20.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. January 8th, 2000, the number 1 album was by DMX. And then there was X. The number 2 album was Celine Dion. All the way, a decade of song. So I guess the greatest hits.
Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. And Sync. I remember being at the dance studio and all the girls loved one of the boy bands.
What's funny to me is that we would include the top 200 albums because nobody buys albums anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But it was Backstreet Boys, Santana, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Tupac, Kenny G, Mariah Carey, Shania Twain.
This is I have no idea why this is in there.
Celebrate the century. Maybe because it said century on it?
Maybe. Y2K, are you ready for the big day? Upgrade or patch your applications, stock the pantry, have cash on hand. Just beware of planes, trains, and automobiles. Don't let your home go haywire. Is your computer ready? Keep a record. So it's telling you to keep records of your bank statements and everything. So in case that goes haywire. Lights, heat, and water. Make sure your local utilities are Y2K compliant. And don't believe the hype. And I think that was number 10 on the list. And of course,
should have been number 1.
As we know now, in hindsight, yes, that should have
I
been
wasn't worried about Y2K. And I think it's just because I'm a contrarian. As anybody says something's concerning, I immediately stop being concerned about it.
More newspapers from that year. It's mostly newspapers, I think. Hold on. I'm just trying to see if there's anything interesting real fast here. Like anything interesting. Nope. Sports page.
I wouldn't have read it back then.
Oh, here's another
Charlie Brown
Here's
thing.
another Charlie Brown thing. Yep. Here's Snoopy on some sort of airplane. Another TV guide. I don't know why. Hey, oh my gosh, this I want to save for a second. That's interesting.
Cigarette advertisement on the back.
Look at this stuff though. Hold on. I say look at, and then I'm like, no. Oh, here's your Dell. Here's your
this
computer.
This is actually interesting. So I bought a Dell computer apparently, and it was a Dell Dimension Pentium 3. 128 megabytes of RAM. Holy cow. A Turtle Beach sound card, Harman Kardon speakers, a 17-inch CRT, 32 megabyte NVIDIA graphics card, a 3-pack of iOmega 100 megabyte zip disks.
Ooh.
You remember zip disks? Oh, wow, that's great. A 27 gigabyte hard drive. Holy cow. Amazing. And then a whole list of all of the basically junkware that would come for free bundled with a new computer. Oh, but was there a price on here? I'm just curious. There was not. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, too bad.
I'm sure it was $1,000 or $2,000.
Now look at this. You have been to Japan once.
That's true.
And that happened December of 99.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
You got
look
the
at that.
tickets right there. Ticket stubs. That's when you had a boarding pass that actually was made out of paper.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
All right. For our anniversary. Oh, wait. Let me do this one first. This I put in from my Aunt Jody because I didn't have any use for it after 2000, but it was a pin that said celebrate 2000. So just a little tchotchke from the time. And so because this clearly we took this time capsule a few months into from 99 into 2000. And so for our anniversary in 2000, we went to see Dennis DeYoung.
Did we actually go?
Did we actually leave the house?
The Riverside. I mean, we did go, apparently.
We went.
I don't have any memory of it whatsoever.
Really?
No. I saw him in Styx so many times, which I probably shouldn't admit in public, but I'm not actually that ashamed of it because I loved them.
He did. Yeah, that was the only time that you and I saw him,
Okay.
I believe. So, yeah. Here's the Milwaukee Journal from the December 31st, and it's not that exciting.
What does it say on it? George Harrison survives knife wound.
Oh,
I didn't ever know about that.
No.
I obviously I didn't read this paper.
And in addition to owning one of my many careers prior to becoming a life coach in 2008 is I was a journalist, and I don't have anything from that. But this is the paper, the hometown paper that I worked for. And so this is their edition for the January 2nd. Wait, this is January 2nd, 1999. I wonder if that's a typo. Because I don't know why I would have kept this for a whole year and then put it in. Especially with the hospital busy, but keeping up headline is not that exciting. But yes, I did work for this paper for a while as one of the reporters, and the media company, I did some editing with them as well. But here's the big thing for me.
Okay. Hopefully it's big for our audience.
No,
because
it's
so
not.
far they're asleep.
I'm sorry. This is it. This is the end. So we rarely go out on New Year's. Even when we were young, we had friends that we would go out to an early dinner for a few years before they moved away. And then we'd get together at one of our houses. That was our big evening out. But 1999 to 2000, I was like, we need to do something this year. We need to have something to remember. And so we actually went to see Noises Off, the play, and it was at the Rep in Milwaukee, right there. We went 2 tickets, and it seriously is the best New Year's I've had ever. We went to the play. It was awesome. Yeah, I love the play anyway. I was very familiar with it. My high school did it, and I love the movie as well. And you'd seen the movie by this time too. And so just love the movie, love the play. And so we went to that play, but then it wasn't New Year's yet. So do you remember what we did?
We drove all the way to Lake Geneva.
We did.
Where they were going to have some fireworks over the lake.
Yes.
It was extraordinarily cold.
Very cold.
And we watched the fireworks.
Yep. To bring in the
And then
midnight.
we went home.
And then we went home. Yeah. Yeah. So that was how we spent that New Year's. My favorite ever.
So that was, like most time capsules, pretty uninteresting.
Oh,
well.
yeah.
I wasn't super stoked about it to start with.
I was going to say this is this is
not related.
No, that's about my dance studio as well.
Okay. So let's see what the chat's saying. It won't be about this segment.
No, none of them will be snoring because they're carnivore and they don't snore anymore.
Angela says, thanks for the cooking info. She's watching from the UK.
Oh, nice.
Rudy says, just like Eric, I've decided to cut dairy. It was hard, but so far so good. Yeah, I had some dairy come back in the holidays, but since I've not been having any.
No.
And I'm always better off when I don't have it.
It's for you, you're better off, but it's also once you made the decision to cut it, it's not like it's that hard for you. It's just that occasional treat like at the holidays and then it's off the table again.
49 inches here in Chicago. We don't ever get that kind of snow anymore. No, isn't that crazy? We frequently talk about how when we were young, winter was very snowy.
Yeah.
Like it was never not snowy. And now we had some snow and now it's gone.
I bought my nephew a sled for Christmas and I used this. I bought myself one as well that I used.
Yeah, we showed it on this channel.
But I gave it to, the snow is gone. The snow lasted a few days and it's kind of like, here, kid, here's a sled. I hope you get to use it at some point this year.
Yeah, it was, and he was not excited about it.
No.
Because that would have required probably going outside.
Well, and there was no snow. So, I mean, yay. That's exciting.
All right. And Pam says, albums are back. Are they really?
You got a record player a few years back.
Well, LPs like vinyl. I do know that is a comeback stronger than CDs. Although I honestly don't know. Do they still sell CDs at like Target and Best Buy? They must.
They do. They do.
I haven't held one in my hand in years. I remember when I got my first CD player. I was still in high school. I probably was, I don't know, sophomore, junior.
Fairly early.
And I got it for Christmas as part of a hi-fi set. And I got 4 or 5 CDs with it, which was kind of a big deal because the CDs were probably $15 at least.
Yeah.
Back then. I don't remember what the CDs were, but one of my best friends in high school also had gotten a CD player. So I took the CDs I had gotten and I loaned them to him. And when I handed them to him, it was as if I'd given him gold bricks to take home because he was so unbelievably excited because he only had one CD and it was Chicago, which he loved, but being able to listen to anything else was exciting. And now you think like you can just stream stuff on the internet endlessly. Same thing with TV. Is that it wasn't hard to choose a channel on TV because you had to turn the knob. But now, sometimes all I do for entertainment is just see what's available to stream. Well, and then I don't ever watch anything.
The other night you were like, I don't want to work at figuring out what we're going to watch. Because, just turn even back that, 2000, you would still turn on the TV and flip through the cable channels till you found some rerun or something like, or Pretty Woman running on TBS or something.
Jurassic Park.
Yes.
So the movie you always stop on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just listening to an interview between Anna Lembke and I don't know who the host is on Diary of a CEO. And it was about dopamine.
Yes, you were mentioning this. This was fascinating.
I'm just going to put this up here in the chat. Lemke on Diary of a CEO. You can search that on YouTube. And it was an absolutely excellent discussion about dopamine and how the reward circuits of the brain works. And it was very apropos to food, carnivore, sugar cravings, and all of those types of things.
Well, Rudy talking about it came to mind to me when Rudy mentioned dairy, because you can get a dopamine hit from some dairy.
Apparently some people can.
Some can. Yeah.
I
not
don't
always.
I don't tend to get it.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate in that regard because sugar, it does the trick. But one of the takeaways was when some sort of exogenous stimulus pushes dopamine up and really tickles the pleasure centers, whether it's sugar or a drug, the body has a come down where it goes beneath the sort of neutral set point. So it goes way up and then it goes the other direction.
Other way.
You do it.
Yep. So it goes up and then it goes the other way.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you do something that requires some effort or discomfort before you get the reward, like say exercise, you can get the reward and the dopamine, but then it doesn't reset to negative state. It comes back down to a neutral, normal state. So you don't get that need then, because it's when it goes to negative that the craving hits.
Mm.
And that's why when they put rats in a cage that can access cocaine with a lever, they'll just keep hitting the lever over and over and over again to be rewarded, because once they're done with it, they want the hit again. So, and for me, listening to it, like all of these light bulbs were going off over my head going, well, that explains my whole entire life.
Mm-hmm. And how long did they say there's a sort of a
Yeah, the addictive stimulus has to be removed for at least 14 days, sometimes longer.
And this interested me because I've just, it's a feedback loop. So when you are getting stimulated by dopamine, having those sweets, having that addictive thing, it's because you've got an excess of dopamine or more than usual, more than baseline, your body stops making as much dopamine. And so it takes a couple weeks for the body to ramp up its production back to baseline when it's not receiving the exogenous sort of hit.
So everything that involves this thing is tuned to trigger little doses of dopamine, and it's extraordinarily disruptive. I now no longer really look at the device in the morning until I have spent about at least a half hour to an hour reading on a paper. Well, they call it a book where I come from.
I like to call them books.
But I think even doom scrolling on X, where there's a lot of bad news, where it triggers a lot of negative emotion, I think even that gives a little dopamine kick.
Oh, I think so.
Which seems counterintuitive to me, but
no, there's you can have self-righteousness and stuff.
Well, I can definitely do that. I've learned from the best at self-righteousness.
Now, I don't recommend this to you, but I have a friend who just recently gave up watching YouTube.
That's a terrible idea.
Right? But this person was stuck in a cycle of watching a lot of political, stuff that was more drama based. And so for them, it was a really good idea to say, you know what, let's cut this off. Now, for me, I listen to mostly carnivores and decluttering experts usually and stuff like that. So for me, I feel like I'm constantly giving myself a positive stream when I use YouTube. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. But again, probably a little dopamine hits here and there.
Now, I never was susceptible to the short form videos like on TikTok and Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. We've made maybe 3 or 4 shorts ever. I don't like watching them, so they're not really something I think of to make very frequently. But I do understand that those can be extremely addictive to just keep flipping up through those. But it doesn't hit that center of my brain for whatever reason. But as I'm flipping through Apple TV trying to find a show for us to watch, and I'm looking at all the thumbnails and all the descriptions, nothing looks good. Nothing. And I think it's because my dopamine, I want to find just the right thing that will entertain me and satisfy JJ's limits of what she wants to watch. And there's something about the hunt that then, if you're successful, that gives you a dopamine release as well. So I don't know. Too many. There's just too much option, too much choice.
Too many things.
Let's see here. Angela says, I wish I'd kept some of my vinyl records. They'd be worth a lot now. I remember paying a lot for CDs, and now you can't give them away. Yeah, CDs was a racket, and it was a huge because people bought their favorite library of albums on CD, so they bought it again. And sometimes you'd have it on cassette too. So, but they were just ridiculously high because there was no reason for a CD to cost $18.99, and sometimes they did when they were new. And then you'd get 15 tracks and only 2 hits.
But there's something truly, I think about the music that I had as a teenager, and there is something about the whole journey through the CD or the journey through the album that I think is, we lose today, where there's the slow song and then the fast one and then the weird one at the very end that no one wants to listen to, or the deep cut. So yeah, that's always interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I was all about albums, and I was, for the bands I loved, I didn't care if the song wasn't the best for that band. I loved it.
But I remember too, when I hear a song now from that time period and I had the album, like I remember it ends, and in my mind, the next song begins.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the first Boston album was like that. It's not really something you should ever listen to one song. You should only listen to it front to back. It's only like 33 minutes long, so it's easy to do. That's my post. Sumi Girl says, I love Diary of a CEO. Yeah, I just discovered it. It's really good. He's a great host. Remember, we had to wait weekly to watch and now we get the entire season in a day.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm mad now for if they don't do the whole season all at once.
Yeah.
Like if they try to meter it out week to week, I'm not starting watching it until the whole thing's out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not waiting if it's good. Although my binge tolerance is way higher than JJ's.
It is.
She's good for 2 or 3 episodes at the most.
I still like to meter it out, though.
I don't like to meter it. I want it
do.
all at once. I want a triple scoop hot fudge sundae, and I want all of the hot fudge you have in the building.
I was going to say, though, I'm a moderator.
You are a moderator. I am not. I have no interest in it.
I never thought about it with our streaming, but yeah, it's true.
Do you remember this is obviously before Carnivore. We went to this place in Lake Geneva, and I ordered their French fries with whatever. And I said, it was a fancy enough place. They do not allow ketchup bottles on the table. So they will bring you ketchup in a little dish.
I know where you're
with
going.
Your French fries, because I don't know, some sort of a savage that I have to eat my French fries with ketchup. And I told the server, I said, and I want you to bring me more ketchup than you have brought anyone in your life.
And she did.
She did. She brought it.
She loved it.
It was way too much, even for me.
But yeah, she was a great server.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with her.
My dad always would try to embarrass me by telling everybody what my eating habits were. And one of them was how I would use French fries as a ketchup delivery device. Let's see. Watch the latest episodes
of The Diary of a CEO.
Oh, earlier today.
Yep.
I was thinking about binging TV shows, and I'm like, well, what show? Coffee and chocolate does that for me. Yeah, well, I can moderate coffee because I get to a certain sip where I'm like, I'm kind of done on that.
Mm.
Chocolate, I don't get to that very easily.
I have been not having as much coffee. Now, I did not drink coffee until I was into my proper human diet journey and I started to crave it. I had not had it for 50 some years of my life. And then I drink a really sort of weak cold brew. Most mornings I would drink that. But lately I've been kind of off of it. I'm having it maybe a couple times a week. But I was listening to Steak and Butter Gang, Bella's Steak and Butter Gang, and they were talking about how they recommend you have coffee for dessert. And that is it actually, when you eat it, drink it. I keep talking about eating coffee. When you drink it on a stomach that has food in it, it does attenuate the cortisol that happens. But again, what also happens is people don't get as much of a rush from it, as much of that dopamine hit. So they're more likely to sort of moderate it more and maybe even move away from it altogether.
I'm not going to do that.
No, I'm not saying anyone needs to do that or that you especially should, but I didn't realize that it buffers the cortisol hit. So yeah.
Well, maybe it attenuates the caffeine delivery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the gut is absorbing other stuff.
Yeah.
I watch mainly carnivore content, and you guys stand out because it's a variety of everything, like a life channel. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It has to become that because we can't just say the same thing 15 times per video and have it be the same thing. Pam says TV shows once a week was something to look forward to.
Yes.
The Thursday night lineup on NBC with Cosby Show and Family Ties and Friends and Seinfeld. And I don't even know what all the Cheers. Happened. Cheers, it was way before all that.
But it was a Thursday night.
Yeah.
It was all Thursday.
That's right.
And then Friday night, there was the ABC lineup eventually for families with Family Matters and Full House and those types of shows.
Yeah, I didn't watch those.
But there was there was also the Dukes on Friday night. The Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard was Friday.
And Dallas, yes.
This is one of those things I never knew when anything was on.
You don't have a calendar in your head.
No.
But our daughter, who is almost 21, she's Gen Z. She was mourning the loss of TV a little bit earlier on her break, saying that she feels like her age group is the last one that had the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon that they really watched into their tweens, basically, that they had that common cultural bond. And she is even noticing that younger kids don't have that anymore.
Well, they would have whatever they watch on YouTube.
Yeah, but it's not as, I mean, there are obviously popular influencers and stuff, TikTok. There's popular influencers where they're sort of probably the zeitgeist, but it's not the same as everybody was watching iCarly.
And Phineas and Ferb.
And her gang knows those references, those pop culture references.
Phineas and Ferb, by the way, is a work of extraordinary genius.
Yeah.
And it's great for adults.
Yes.
SpongeBob, I could not tolerate, but I laughed despite myself sometimes when it was on.
Well, I hated it when our nephew was watching it, but then when our daughter started to watch it and I got more into it, the characters and the plots, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. It's real sweet.
Dukes of Hazzard was hands down the best show ever. Just the good old boys.
Yeah.
Never meaning no harm. Yeah, that show, it was easy for a young boy to like that show.
Yeah.
Especially when Bo Duke, he would have the bow and arrow with the dynamite on it. Oh man, I loved it when he blew stuff up. And this will shock you, but there was that one episode where they were chased by Roscoe and Enos in the cop cars.
Yeah.
And the
That
General Lee, the Duke boys' car went over a jump.
Really?
Yeah, and they got away, and the cop cars crashed into each other, and Roscoe hit the steering wheel and was really mad about it.
What about his dog?
And the Duke boys got away. And it's as if they didn't know where the Dukes lived. Because it just seems like, why don't you just, instead of chasing them, just go to Uncle Jesse's house and wait, because they're going to show up. They never thought of that.
This is why you're the writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a Boss Hogg. What a great character. And thinking back, we always thought Boss Hogg was an old guy. He was way younger than we are now.
Yeah. Carnivore Chans.
I literally remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Natalie says, we still watch Phineas and Ferb that our kids watched. Yeah.
So good.
And then they make the special movie editions like the Star Wars one. Oh, so good.
Yep. We'd always have a family night for that.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Fast-paced, clever writing. So anything else that we need to talk about with our friends here? Oh, let me check to see where we're at.
Oh,
We have done it. 3,000 subscribers
since we started today.
It was $29.99 when we started this stream. So here's the thing. If you're not subscribed, please do, because YouTube sometimes just kind of deletes a couple. And so we need to get a little buffer built in.
Yep.
But we've hit the 3,000 mark. That is incredible.
Yay!
And kind of mind-boggling. Wow.
Yeah. We thank you so much for tuning in and watching our discussions and our antics and our rants and our laughter and even our boring time capsule.
The time capsule was one of the lowest moments of this entire channel.
But it's the early in the year, so it's only up from here.
Right. And I don't know, maybe it was interesting in the way, in a kind of boring kind of way.
Maybe interesting in a boring way.
Let's see. The Dukes, the best. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year's to you.
Yes.
Congratulations. Thank you, Carnivore Chans. We're going to check out your channel.
Yes, we are.
Natalie says, congrats. Thank you, Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't eaten our dunch yet, which is dinner for late lunch. And it is almost 5 p.m. So it's going to be supper.
It is. It's dark outside.
Yeah. And that means I'm not going to sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
Great. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So we will be back when?
Tuesday.
All
Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah. Which is like, I want to say the 7th.
It's coming up. Yeah. And then we will be in Chicago area for Carrie's meetup.
We will be. So yeah, that is not this weekend, like tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow.
And that's at some hotel near Schaumburg.
Yep. Doubletree.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, Sumi's having chicken wings for dinner. We're having strip steaks, but not from the butcher shop.
All right, let's sign off.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in.
This was fun.
Yeah.